Happy New Year, everyone. It is Dr. Dylan Peckus, and today we're going to talk about goal setting and achieving so that you're overcoming sleep apnea, waking up refreshed, and this applies to health goals in general here. But either way, I'm here to tell you, disliking New Year's resolutions, okay, because I do too, this is actually the key to achieving your health goals. And I know that may be confusing, like our friend Bert over here, but the fact of the matter is, hitting your health goals in 2024, it's all about these three main components that we're going to talk about today. Okay, overcoming goal resistance, setting health goals you can actually achieve, and how to maintain motivation and make it all the way there, right? And this is critically important because when I am working with people and their main outcome, whether it's to get off a CPAP, wake up refreshed, normalize their weight, their labs, their blood pressure, they have a very clear goal. Because people who it's just like, I just want to feel better, I get that. But the fact of the matter is, the more you have something to move towards, you will actually get there. Because otherwise, you are just going in wheels or going in circles on your wheels and spinning your wheels. And I know it's early in the year, it's Monday. I am mixing my metaphors already. Uh, my apologies, but I make no apologies for the silliness that I project in the English language. But nonetheless, this is all about you hitting your targets, okay? Whether that is this year, this month, in a few weeks, whatever that is for you. But you cannot hit a target you cannot see, okay? So you need to be able to identify what that is, and that's what we're going to help you do here today, okay? So first, I want to talk about goal resistance, okay? And this is why we hate New Year's resolutions, all right? And what this is whenever you have a new goal, okay? Or there is a time to set goals because that's what society does, okay? The other 364 days of the year, you can just do whatever, but now you have to have goals all of a sudden, whatever. But the thing is, goal resistance is what comes up when we plan out our goals, okay? Because many times they're very exciting, right? When we first start doing it, right? Think about when you were a kid, right? Just like childlike imagination. That's why that term exists because you're like, you want to be an astronaut who's also a firefighter on the moon, who, when you're not doing that, you're also playing in the NFL on the weekends. Okay, just so you're a well-rounded individual. You'll have those goals. But if you were to try to make those goals now, it would just feel silly, impotent, and very defeating, right? Why wasn't I an astronaut? Why wasn't I in the NFL? All these things may come up there. But the thing is, goal resistance is when you're trying to get towards an outcome, it's either mentally finding yourself excuses like, oh, setting goals never works, or whatever, last time I did this, it didn't work for me, or even just like a feeling, right? Like if I say, what was your goal last New Year's, right? Okay, was that the same one the year before and the year before? And it's really like not a good feeling at all to have that there. But the thing is, that's really where the magic is, okay? You just need to be able to use it properly. Okay, because for instance, goal resistance, it can apply to sort of daily things like, I'm doing these slides here. We'll see how it goes. You should do a whiteboard, but I need to keep myself on track. Otherwise, we'll be here for hours. And I'm just talking by myself in a room. But when you're able to actually feel the resistance, it's because there's something good on the other side. Okay, because when you just have the resistance, maybe you set goals, right? You set them, and then okay, you're moving through them, but then like that's when you fall off the bandwagon, right? It's like you're working out, you're feeling good, or you got your slides for your videos, and then like a week later, it's just like never even happened, right? Okay, and then it just becomes something where it's like, why did it happen? You get defeated, and then it even strips away your motivation by the next time you set goals, which is why maybe you just don't set goals. And then it's just something where just whatever comes up, you do. But it just becomes a really an existence that many times this feel like driftless, right? Just going through the motions because there's no real goal or target, right? And it's really picking like, do you want to have the lack of fulfillment, the sort of the disappointment, the frustrations of like not having a goal, or do you want to have that while trying to get somewhere? Okay, I think option two is what we want to do, right? Because if you're someone who's not using the goal resistance properly, that's when we're seeing ourselves, whether it's metaphorically in a mirror or looking literally at a mirror, and ask yourself, is like, why am I still here? How did I get here? Right? And it's not just New Year's, right? It could be your birthday, right? Could be certain times of the year, maybe like a beach trip every time, right? Or like a summer vacation where maybe you're out and like more conscious about how your body looks, right? There's gonna be those times where we reflect and like what it means for us of not hitting our goals anywhere near it, right? So that's why the shift is to see goal resistance as a good thing, okay? Because if you wanted to lift weights to get strong, right? Would you want resistance? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. And I'm not even going to put a picture of someone with a 1 pound weight just to make fun of it because that's still exercise. That's still good. But goal resistance is what you want. Okay. Because the moment you feel it, that's your body, all of the stuff from the past, right? All the emotions, the thoughts, the failures, right? That's coming up and saying there is a barrier here. Okay. But just like whether it's moving weights, whether it is moving up a mountain, there's gonna be a little bit of burn in your legs or, in your chest as you're breathing or just your muscles feeling drained. And that's a sign you're going in the right direction here. Because why would you ever set a goal if it was like, oh yeah, if I achieve it, whatever. What? That's someone else's goal. That's not your goal. Okay? So you have to recognize like when you start to feel that resistance, right? Whether it's eating a certain way, all right? Whether it's doing some breathing exercises, getting up at the same time every morning, whatever those components may be, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable at first. And that's a good thing because that's where success happens. That's where you're going to grow. Okay? So whenever you start to feel that, whether, I don't know, whatever, we'll talk about the goals, we'll set here today in a bit. But whenever you hit that moment of resistance, you need to think like this is the moment you strengthen your resolve. Not at the moment you kind of like go back into the comfort zone. Okay. And it's not your fault. Okay. I do it too. Okay. How many times have I set a goal and fell flat on my face? Right. But the thing is, the more you do that, that's the actual strength you need to build. Okay. So when doing that, you got to talk about your resistance. Okay. So, think about this. If you want to comment below, that's great. And just ask yourself, like, what health goals do you have resistance around? Is it weight loss? That's a super common one. Is it sleeping better at night or waking up more refreshed or reducing reliance on a CPAP because you've improved your overall health? Don't just stop it all without a plan or guidance, obviously. What is that for you? Okay. And then what is the current story you have around that goal, right? Oh, I'm too old. It's been like this for 10 years. What are the stories you have around that right now? Okay. Because these are the things we'll tell ourselves to justify why we're here. Okay. And again, I do this too. It's not like I'm like a transform human being because I just see this all the time with, myself when I'm doing things for myself or, working with our patients. Okay. There's these old stories that get stuck in there. But here's the thing a story is just something you choose to write, choose to believe. And there's a lot of truth to it, don't get me wrong, but there's more than one truth to any situation. So what's a new story you could write about that? Okay. For instance, these slides again, okay, as my goal for this year. Well, we'll see how they go, how they are appreciated when presenting information. Uh, it's something when okay, well, how many times am I gonna like really update how I'm presenting information? Okay, that could be one story that I had. A new story is like, well, what if this is a really great way? What if? Okay. Or fitness. Let's do something a little bit more relevant. So, me wanting to get, stronger here. Okay. And I could totally write the story of like, man, I am not as strong as I used to be. Okay. Because medical training and all that really has a great way of making you a pencil pusher, if you will. But that's my story, right? That's my excuse, right? So my new story is like, well, yes, I may be like restarting in many ways physically, but mentally I have more of the wisdom, right? Where I don't have to figure out like, oh, how do I squat, right? How don't been there, done that. It's just a matter of being consistent and, you know, being safe, of course, and just moving in the right way. Okay, that's the news story. So, what are the news stories you can have around your health goals? Okay, whether that's in the comments or you want to write that down and ask yourself that later. Either way works well. All right. Now, second piece here, because now we overcame goal resistance, or now you're familiar with it. Okay, it's going to be a constant thing. It's not just one and done here. Second thing is to set health goals you actually achieve. Okay. Now, there's many reasons we end up setting the same goal every January 1st, right? We lose motivation. That's why we're covering that next. Maybe we try something, but it's like not actually helping, right? Maybe we're doing something, we're getting some progress, we have a setback, okay? Or maybe just like, I mean, life happens. We kind of went over that one. But when you get a little bit of momentum over the progress here, and then life happens, like this is where we find ourselves, right? Just imagine like being really defeated and just like whether you go to anger, that's where I'll go, just really disappointed, just downright depressed, just feeling like you cannot move this thing forward, right? You have moved it forward. We'll talk more about that. But the thing is, like, when you're defeated here, it's not just like in your health, okay? Because how we do anything, how we approach anything, is how we approach everything, and it shows up everywhere, right? Because when you're defeated, what is that like when you go to work? What's a defeated person in a conversation versus someone who's confident? When you're defeated or discouraged, who is that person at home? Are you there for others, whether it's emotionally? Are you that person who's creating those fun activities or being really present and engaged? No, that's not what happens because we just get stuck into this lesser version of ourselves because of this repeated defeat. Okay. That's why we're going to break that here. Okay. Because one of the biggest issues, okay, is not setting goals properly. And we're not going to do SMART goals. Okay. So I stop that. Okay. Let's not even go there. So there's a few principles I want to go over to help you hit better goals. So you're making great changes for your health, being a lot more confident, having a lot more energy, and many other great things, right? So there's 5 here. All right. So 5 principles are going to be less is more, setting the bar low, short, middle, long, what it means, and how. Okay, let's just get into it. So less is more is the first big one here. People have this tendency of when we're like down in it, right? And it's like, okay, January 1st, or maybe it's you turn 50, okay? And you're like, holy crap. Well, I mean, your life's kind of halfway over. Man, that just really brought the mood down. But either way, you want to pick the fewest goals possible, okay? Because we'll do like, okay, health, wealth, relationships, spiritual, uh, fitness. It's a little bit different than health. Just pick one for the time being. Because the thing is, you may want to write this one down. The goals are not about achieving the goals. It's about who you become in the process, and then that shows up in other areas. Okay? That's why people who are often successful in one area of their life are successful in other areas of their life. Okay? And yes, there can be people who sacrifice other areas of their life, but for the most part, it creates you as a better person so you can show up. So just use the goal and get the most out of one goal. Okay? So it could literally just be lose 20 pounds. That's it. Okay? Or get 6 hours of sleep a night if you're getting like 4, for instance. Just pick a goal. 1, maybe 2. You're pressing your luck at 3. Okay? Then, with this goal, let's just go for the getting 6 hours of sleep. Okay? Which comes along with what we're saying here. Set the bar low. Okay? You want to use low steps to climb to high heights here. Okay, so for instance, notice I didn't say 8 hours of sleep for 4 hours here. Sometimes when there's a big gap, when it doesn't seem possible, then there's no way it's attainable. That makes sense? You need to know it's possible. Okay? So, for instance, 10 years ago, putting someone on Mars didn't really seem possible. Okay? Nowadays, it seems more possible, and thus people are taking steps to attain it. Getting in a rocket, and I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I presume they'd be part of it. Same thing here. Because if you're at like 3, 4 hours of good quality sleep, 8 hours may not seem possible right now. So you need to pick something that is possible, even if that's just 5 hours of sleep, going from 3 to 5. Because again, when it's possible, then it is attainable. Okay. And then here's the thing, when you hit it, guess what? As a human, the question always is like, what's the next goal? All right. So you want to set the bar low because then when you go over it, you just use that as a stepping stone to the next level. Okay. Now, this is kind of in line with this, the short, middle, long approach here. So again, really rudimentary example, right? So you're getting 3 hours of quality sleep right now. Okay, short term, you want to get to 5 consistently. Okay. Then what's the middle term goal? 7, right? And then 8 hours. Okay. Or maybe your long term goal is getting off a CPAP. You want to have those short, middle, long, because many times people just go all the way. We just go Hail Mary. You know, maybe if you're like 30 pounds overweight, I want to have a six pack, and everyone's, get whiplash by looking at me on the beach when I run by. Okay, let's kind of step into that first here. So it seems more possible and attainable, and you also have milestones where you know you're going in the right direction here. Okay, it really allows you to see the path forward. Okay, now number 4, I think this is then also what it means for you, because a lot of times people get what I call, I don't think I didn't write this on the screen, but I'll say it anyway. They get goal impotence syndrome, okay, or goal impotence syndrome, however you want to describe it, or goal dysfunction. Okay. And essentially what this is we have goals, but like we don't care about them. They're just doesn't really matter to us. There's no like emotional connection with it. And whether you like it or not, we all make emotional decisions. Okay? Because logically, a lot of these things don't make sense. Right? Whether it's like, let's have 4 kids. Okay, like logically I can see, okay, perpetuate the species, got it. But like, man, is that a lot of work, right? You do it because you want to cultivate a sense of family and a lot of emotions that come along with that, right? Or like get 2 dogs. Okay, logically, you don't need 2 dogs unless you have a really good reason. But also emotionally, it's just like, something that's fun, right? So you want to be able to have the meaning for it, right? And that can be a personal meaning, like what it means for you to come off of a CPAP, what it means for you to lose 20 pounds, what it means for you to have normal, healthy blood pressure, right? What it means for your health, what it means for how you can show up at work, what it means for how you can show up as in all the roles of your life, right? As a dad, mom, husband, wife, whatever that may be for you. What does that mean for that? And then also, what does that mean for others? Because, for instance, let's say you're getting healthier, what kind of role model do you now become, right? So, really find what that meaning is for you as you're writing this down either now or, actually, no, do it now. You're required to do it now. No doing it later. Okay. And then the other thing people forget about is also how you will get there. Because imagine again, we have those 3 milestones of getting 4 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep. Well, you also need to obsess about how you're going to get there, because it's not just going to happen. Like if you had a goal of going to Japan, but if you weren't thinking of it, or Hawaii here, but you never thought of using a plane or a boat or anything else, it's going to be very hard to get there. So whatever that looks like for you, right? Because obviously this is a one-way communication, me to you, but like, what are those things that need to happen in between 4 to 6 and 6 to 8? Is it a change in diet? Is it a change in routine? Is it getting help? Like, what needs to happen between all those stages there? Because the more you bring your attention to that while keeping the vision your goal, then it helps you move through all of that. Okay. So last one is actually maintaining motivation here as we're wrapping up, because having motivation is super easy. I'm motivated to make this. I had one day to make this video because I feel this is only really relevant one day a year or January 2nd. Um, but it's not about having motivation just one day. It's all the other 364. Well, is it a leap year this year? Yeah, I guess it is. So 365 other days of the year. I'm pretty sure it's a leap year. So that's why I want to cover the motivation myth, okay? Because it does not work long term because it's external, okay? Like this video may be motivating you. Maybe you listen to a motivational speech from YouTube, or maybe Tony Robbins comes and lives with you. Okay, those are all external things. External things change always. And when you rely on those, then it just, again, leaves you in a place where you're just not really getting anywhere. Okay. So that's why you want to have inspiration. I know this sounds semantical, but inspiration is really internal. Okay. Where no matter where you are, no matter where Tony Robbins is in vicinity to you, okay, you can generate a sense of being able to show up even when you don't want to and do something here. And that inspiration, again, comes from a lot of the things we talked about, the meanings for you, why that goal is exciting, the things that really, give you some sort of positive emotion, not just, oh, I want to get off my CPAP, or oh, I want to like, yeah, be nice to wake up refreshed. It's like, I want to wake up refreshed and like go on a run with my dog and be able to be in one of those picturesque morning coming through pictures or something like that, right? You want to have that inspiration because that will keep you going, and it's also the muscle of building it again and again. Okay, because here's the thing about teeth and inspiration. This is the slide that no one asked for. Inspiration is internal, right? But it's not eternal. Okay, so you need to have a daily practice of reconnecting with your goals. Okay, just like hopefully, I know we haven't done any teeth brushing videos yet, but you should do that probably at least twice a day. Inspiration, reconnecting with your goals at least once per day. Okay, doctor's orders on that. Because when you're able to do that again, like that's like, it starts to free up such a better path ahead of you. Okay, you can actually see the path ahead and like be present and engage with it and be able to really show up, be productive, and be able to have such a better outlook on life because you have something to move towards here. Okay, so really take that in today into your practice of whether it's just like one goal and being able to take everything we talked about and apply that to that. All right. Now, if you always need more help, we're always here to support you. That's why we offer a free one-on-one evaluation call. Just really simple, 45 minutes. Identify the issues, where you are, what your goals are as well, and be able to figure out, okay, point A, point B, how do we get you there? All right. All you have to do is go to ochnow.com/talk, fill out a form, pick your day and time, and then we figure out the new paths to get you to a new you in 2024. All right. Dr. Dylan Peckus here, signing off. Thanks for your time, and I will speak with you soon.